All right. Good day, ladies and gents. Happy January 2021. Wonderful. So what we're going to be doing is continuing Unit 6. So make sure that you always have page 1 out in front of you. That's very important. So the first thing we're going to do is do a little bit of recap. So we've already done page 2, and down here at the bottom, that's where the page number is. So we already did page 2. We're going to go ahead and finish up page 3. So we're on page 3. We already did the left half. We're going to go ahead and do the right half. All right, so we are on page 3 of our notes. All right, so here we go. So let me zoom in a little bit. All right, so similar figures. So what we're trying to do is find X or any of the missing things that we're looking for. So I'm going to zoom in just a little more. Okay, so very important. So in your notes, the ratio, it's A to B, and you put A over B. So we're going from left to right. So at this moment, we're going from left to right, top to bottom. It's pretty simple. Okay, so the best way to do this is remember that things match up. So that would be like B to C is matched up with F to E, little things like that. All right, so from left to right, top to bottom. So what we're saying is triangle BCD will be over triangle FGE. And we're just going to keep this off to the side just to help us out at all times. All right, so we're going to go ahead and see what matches with what. Okay, so B to C. So B to C right here, that would match up. Now B to C would match up with F to G. F to G. So those would go together right there. So I'm going to put the B stuff on the top. So 39 would match up with 4x plus 2. Okay, that would be equal to, so this is just a little bubble thought off to our side, that would be equal to, let's see, I'm going to use notches for this. That's just making it different. You might want to use different colors. B to D. So B to D would be on the top. So 42 would go over. Now what matches up with B to D? F and E. Where's F and E? Right here. So we're going to put little notches there. So this goes with this. So that'd be 5x minus 2 right down here at the bottom. Okay, so now that you have that, you're going to cross product. So the 39 is still on top, and we're going to throw, so you might want to put little parentheses on here to keep them together. So these two go together. So we want to get rid of the 5x minus 2, so we multiply onto the other side. And these two go together, so equals, we're going to multiply onto the other side. So 42 times the 4x plus 2. I'm going to zoom in just a little more so you can see that a little better. Okay, so now make sure that you have your calculator next to you. That's very, very helpful. If you don't, then you're not going to do very well on this. So make sure that you have your calculator. All right, so distribute. So 39 times 5 would give us 195x. 39 times a negative 2 would be a minus 78 is equal to 42 times 4 is 168x, and 42 times 2 is plus 84. Okay, so basically you just had to set this up and your cross product and you're solving. It's that simple. So just keep it simple in your head. Don't overthink this. All right, so we're just going to keep going. All right, so then so we're doing the cross product. We did that. Okay, so we're going to subtract 168 from both sides. So 195 minus 168, we get 27x minus 78 is equal to 84, positive 84. I ran out of room, so I'll put it up here. Okay, so I'm going to add 78 to both sides. So 84 plus 78, we get 27x is equal to a 162. And we would divide both sides by 27, and we get x equals 6. So we have x equals 6. And what you should do is plug it back in. So once you get x, plug it back in just to double check a couple of things. So this would now be a 39 over, 4 times 6 plus 2. So let me try again. 4 times 6 plus 2. We get a 26. And then this would be, equal to 42 over 5 times 6 minus 2, that'd be 28. And 39 divided by 26 would give us a 1.5. So we put that there, so that'd be a 1.5 right here. And 42 divided by 28 would also be 1.5. So I know that this is correct. So this is me just checking myself. I know that's not very pretty, but this, you could just do that in the calculator and not show that work. But x does equal 6. And your final step is to answer their question. They only wanted x, so this is the answer. We know we did this right. Okay, number 2. Okay, same thing. Don't overthink this. So I know a lot of you guys are trying to separate things. Just go with the motions, right? Go with the flow. All right, so we're gonna have left or right. So triangle DGH will always be over triangle DEF. So left or right, top to bottom, right? So this is our little bubble thought we're just gonna keep in mind. Okay, so let's see. So I would always focus on the smaller triangle first. Okay, so just focus on the smaller triangle. So we have DG. Oh, that would go on the top. Okay, that's awesome. D to G would be 52. Now D to G matches up with D to E. So D to E would be all of that. D to E. And what's that? 91. All right, let's do the other part of the small triangle. X plus 3. So, and that's G to H. So G to H is right here. G to H would match up with the E to F. And there's E to F. And what's that? 2x minus 1. All right, so now that we have that, just go through the motions. Cross product and solve. All right, so if we cross product, these two go together right here. So 52 times 2x minus 1. And these two go together. 91 times x plus 3. All right, distribute. 52 times 2. And we get 104x minus 52, because we distribute, equals 91x. 91 times 3, we get plus 273. All right, so keep going. All right, I'm going to subtract 91 from both sides. 104 minus 91. I ran out of room a little bit, so no worries. So 13x equals, and I'm going to go ahead and add the 52 onto both sides as well. 273 plus 52. I'm kind of skipping a step here. 325. Okay, divide both sides by 13, and we get x equals 25. Okay, and so I suggest you always double check. So x should be 25. I'm just going to plug it back into the original right here. So we still have 52 over 91, nothing to plug in there. And then 25 plus 3 would be 28 over 2 times 25 minus 1 is 49. Okay, 52 divided by 91. I got this really weird decimal 0.57, blah, right? Okay, 28 divided by 49. And we also get 0.57, blah. So I know those two are good. They're the same. They are the same fraction. So I know that x does equal 25. That was my final answer. Awesome. Okay, so this is we're just going over notes, just giving you a review of what happened last class. Okay, so same idea we're doing here. So triangle, we're going to keep it as JKL over triangle NMP. Okay, so that's just our little bubble thought. We're just going to keep that in mind. Okay, so so if I do this triangle right here, this right here was J to K. All right, does that go on the top or the bottom? That would go on top, because that's where J and K is. It could have been on the bottom, but in this case, it's on the top. So 49 goes on the top. So what matches with J to K? N to M. N to M. So that would be 14. Equals. Okay, pick another side on this triangle. I'm going to use this side. JL. JL, does it go on the top or the bottom? That goes on the top, because that's where J and L is. So 9x plus 1. And J to L matches up with what letters? N to P. N to P would be x plus 5. Okay, so now we're going to do our cross product. These two go together, so 49 times x plus 5 equals, these two go together, 14 times 9x plus 1. All right, so distribute. 49 times x is 49x. 49 times 5 is 245 equals 14 times 9, 126, x plus 14. Okay, I'm gonna subtract x. I like x being on the left side, so if you do 49 minus 126, we get a negative 77x plus 245 equals 14. 14 minus 245, we have negative 77x is equal to negative 231. Divide by negative 77 on both sides, and you have x equals a positive 3. Okay, and so I want to double check that I have this right. So if I plug it back into the original, so this would still be, so I have some room right here, so I'll do it right here. So that would still be 49 over 14, and then 9 times 3 plus 1 would be 28, and then 3 plus 5 would be 8. All right, 49 divided by 14, that is a 3.5. 28 divided by 8 is also a 3.5. So that tells me that these two fractions are equal to each other. So that's telling me that this is correct. So x equals 3 is my final answer, and that's what they wanted. All right, so number 4. Okay, so hopefully you're getting a nice, good idea about this. All right, so let's just keep going. Triangle BCD over triangle GEF. So left to right, top to bottom. So the left one goes on the top, the right one goes on the bottom. Okay, so let's see. Okay, if I do this side right here, the question is, what does that match up with? Okay, so B to C, is that on the top or the bottom? Oh, it's on the top. Okay, so x plus 4. So B to C matches up with what letters? B to C matches up with G to E. Where's G to E? Right here. So that'd be 51. Is equal to, all right, let's pick another side that's labeled. Okay, so that would be B to D. B to D, that goes on the top. So 2x minus 7 over, and B to D matches up with G to F. There's G and F, so that is 57. All right, so you should already have the pattern going on here, so that would be cross product. So these two go together, so 57 goes with x plus 4, and these two go together. 51 times 2x minus 7. 57x times 4 is 228. 51 times 2, we get 102x. 51 times negative 7, we get a negative 357. All right, so let's say I want to move the 57 over here. So 102x minus 57x, we get a 45x. So that disappears. And then what if I move this negative 357 onto the other side? So 228 plus that 357, we would get 585. All right, so, and then we're going to divide both sides by 45, and I get 13 equals x. Okay, so what I want to do now is double check that this is correct. So just plug it back in. 13 plus 4. This would now be a 17 over 51 equals 2 times 13 minus 7, which is 19 over 57. All right, so 17 divided by 51. I get a 0.3 repeating forever and ever and ever. 19 divided by 57. I also get a 0.3 repeating forever and ever and ever. So I feel really good about this. Make sure you answered their question. They said, hey, what's x? And our x was 13. All right, awesome. Okay, and then number 5. All right, so on number 5, all they want is the scale factor. They want the scale factor. Now, here is the thing. Here's the thing. Scale factor. Scale factor is backwards. So you know how we go from left to right, top to bottom? Left to right, top to bottom? That's the ratio. But when we do scale factor, when we have a graph, basically, when we have a graph, it feels backwards. So instead of left to right, top to bottom, it's the new image over the old image. So the new over the old. Okay. So remember. So new over the old. So that basically is the ABC. So the A prime, B prime, C prime over the A, B, C, the original. So the new one over the old one. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so we said that ABC turned into A prime, B prime, C prime. So this was the old one. This is a new one. So did it get bigger or did it get smaller? Going from the white to the red. Okay, that got bigger. So that's a little bubble thought there. Just remember that in this particular case. Okay, so all we want is a side length. So anything that matches up. So one thing I can do, the easiest thing I can do, is you see this straight side right here? So not the diagonals, the actual horizontal, or we could do it in vertical. Okay, so the horizontal here, so how many hops is this? That's 1, 2, 3 hops. So that's 3 hops. How many hops is this? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the new shape was 9 hops. The old shape was 3 hops. And 9 over 3 is really just 3. Or so we got 3 over 1, which is really, we can make it even simpler and just say 3. And bigger. So notice that if the scale factor K is bigger than 1, if it's greater than 1, it got bigger. If it's smaller than 1, it got smaller. Who knew? All right, so that's how you do that one. Okay, so that was page 3. So you guys are in charge of page 4 and 5. So we've already had a bunch of practice with this. So here's the picture for number 1. Here's the picture for number 2, and here's the space for the work. I think you guys have the main idea about this, so no big deal. Just bust it out. So I think this little part right here got cut off a little bit, but you can see it. That's really ABC. And this is X, B, Y. Okay, and solve for X. Okay. So pretty simple right there. Okay, and then one more that got cut off here on number 11. Okay, so if we look at number 11 here, I'm just double checking. Okay, so on number 11, this got cut off a little bit. All right, so this is supposed to be triangle M, N, J is similar to triangle L, K, J. All right, so make sure you have that on number 11. M, N, J is similar to triangle L, K, J. All right, so make sure you guys have that. And just follow the patterns that we just did a second ago. Okay, so now we are going to page number 6. All right, so what we just did was a recap. So you guys are in charge of pages 4 and 5. All right, let's go to the next page. Page number 6. All right, so brand new information. Hopefully that was a good review for you. All right, so brand new information. This will actually go pretty quick once you know what you're doing. You just got to trust me. Just trust me. It will be okay. All right, so on this one, make sure that you guys have page 1 out. Page 1 is definitely going to help you out with this. So when you guys look at page 1, let's see, right here. So we're doing dilation. So you just multiply by K. And if you're dilating around a point, here are the steps. You do the original, you undo the center, you multiply, you redo the center. Now, what does that mean? That means nothing to you right now, but just have this in front of you and that will help you. All right, so this will make sense very soon. All right, let's actually bust this out. So we are going to just skip this part No big deal there because I just told you that it's all on page number 1 to help you out. So page 1, this right here, that's what the top part says. So we're just going to skip that part. No big deal. Okay, so here, number 1. All right, so make sure you guys have 2 different colors. Red and black would be good. Pencil and pen would be good. Maybe you're using different colors, markers, whatever you like. All right, so there's a couple different ways how to do this. All right, one of the quickest way. Okay, so this says that we're just going to dilate. So one way to do this is mathematically, and I think that's the quickest way for you at this moment. So number 1, so I'm going to do the original. And then the new. Okay, so basically, this is how it works. Your original R was negative 5, 1. S was negative 3, 4. And your T was 2, negative 1, which is what I got from up here. I just wrote it right here, lining them up. And then they say your K is 2. So I wrote K is 2. All right. Crazy thing about this, all we're going to do is take each individual digit and multiply by 2. That's it. So negative 5 times 1 is negative 10. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. 2 times 2 is 4. So I just like to go all of my, like do all my x's first, and I'm going to do all my y's. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. That's your answer. You're done. That's it. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now let me prove this to you graphically. What does this mean? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go this extra step and graph it. So that's what I'm looking for right now. All right, so at least do this for your notes. At the very least, do this for your notes. All right, so we have negative. So the original was negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, positive 1. That was your R. Negative 3, 1, 2, 3, positive 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That was your S. And positive 2, 1, 2, negative 1, that's your T. So I'm going to take my straight edge and connect the dots. All right, so this was the original. Okay, so that was the original. Now, my new dots were negative 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and positive 2. 1, 2. That's your new R. So basically, your distance, the pattern that you did to go to R, you just did it twice. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so please notice that this is from the center. So here's this. So from the center, look at that. A line can be made from that cuts between 0, so 0, 0, your origin, through your R to your R prime. So all 3 of those would be on the same line. Notice that. Okay, and then S. S, our new was negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's your S prime, and notice that all 3 of those, so S prime, S, and your 0, 0 are all on the same line. If they're not, something's wrong. All right, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 2, 1, 2. So I put T right here. Now let's see. Your 0, 0, your T, and your T prime. Uh-oh, look at that. All 3 of those were not on the same line. Look at that. I can't make a line going through 0, 0, T, and T prime. Well, crap, something's wrong. Oh, what's wrong? Oh, this is a positive 4, not a negative 4. This is a positive 4, negative. Oh, I went the wrong way. And notice I caught my mistake. So it was supposed to be a positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 2, 1, 2. And there's my T prime. And notice that 0, 0, T, and T prime are all on the same line. Okay, so if we connect all the dots, doesn't it look like it just got bigger? Yes, it does. Okay, so There you go. So that's what the picture looks like. So all we had to do was this right here. Graphically, we were able to double check ourselves. Isn't that nice? Okay, let's try this again. All right, so I'm going to put my original down here. So, and I'm going to line them up, W, X, and Y. So my W was -4, 8, 10, 0 was X, and -2, -8 was my Y. And I'm going to do my new shape, which K equals 1/4. Okay, so all I did was take all this information and just copy it down. Okay, so now all we have to do is multiply everything by 1/4. Or in other words, so we're taking -4, we're either going to multiply by 1/4, or basically we're going to multiply by 1, divide by 4. So -4, we're going to multiply by the top, then we're going to divide by the bottom. All right, just so you know what's going on. Okay, so sweet. So -4 times 1/4, or 1/4, which is really a 0.25. Whatever floats your boat. You do what works for you. Okay, so we have, so basically I'm dividing by 4, right? So we have -1, so 10 divided by 4, we got a 2.5. -2 divided by 4, we got a -0.5. So notice I'm doing all the X's first, and now I'm going to do all the Y's. It's a good habit to have for a good reason that you don't care about right now. Just get into that pattern. Do all your X's first. Now let's do all your Y's. 8 divided by 4, we get 2, 0, and a -2. Okay, so that should be your answer. Okay, so now we're going to double check ourselves. This is a good way to double check to make sure you did this right. So our original is go and plot the points, was -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically we're done, but now we're just going to check ourselves. So -4, +8. There's my W. 10, 0. So this is XY, right? So the 10 was on the X, so it's on the X-axis. That will be my X. And then -2, -8. That's my Y. All right, take your straight edge, which is usually your ID, or you can use your credit card, whatever you like. All right, so that's the original. Okay, and then we're going to plot our new things. So -1, 2, 1, 2. There's my W, and notice 0, W, and W prime. All three of those are on the same line. That helps us. So 2.5, 0. There's my X. Notice that all three of those, so your origin, X prime, and your X are all on the same line. And then -0.5, -2 goes right here. There's my Y, and then my Y prime, and 0, Y, and Y prime are all on the same line. So that's telling us we're doing this right. Okay, and does that look legit? Yes, it does. Okay, so the quickest way to do this is just mathematically. Graphically will help you double check if you got this right or wrong. Okay, all right, so that right there, so those two problems that we just did, basically you just multiply by the K. That's going to help you out with these dilations. So that's going to help you out with on page 7, this first half. So it's going to help you with numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. You just multiply by the numbers. That's it. Okay. Same thing with the home learning on page 8. That's going to help you out with pages numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's going to help you with the left half on the next 2 pages. All right. So that should be good. And also on page 9. So all you have to do on page 7, 8, and 9 on the left side, all of those, you're just going to take these digits and multiply by that. That's it. Okay, now one more thing. The next part we have to do is dilations around that are not around the origin. So what if they say that you have the scale factor, but you're going around this random point? Okay, so once again, look at page 1. Here are the steps. Step 1, origin, undo the center. Now do your K, and then redo your center. So what we're going to do is we're just basically going to do a chart. Okay, so basically we are going to do a chart. All right, so here we go. So keep everything as lined up as possible. So you're, so I'm going to put a line between A and T. That will just help me keep this organized. All right, so on number 3, so we have M and A, T and H. And the only reason I have this line here is just to help me stay organized. There's no other reason other than that. Okay, notice I have some space up here. Okay, so my, we have this. So your M was 4, 2. Your A was 0, 4. Your T was negative 2, 2. And your H was 2, 0. Make sure that you copy these down correctly, because if you get this wrong, everything's going to be wrong. All right. So here we go. Now they said that we're going to go around this random point. So use point 2, P was 2, 2, 5 as your center. All right, so we're going to go around this random point 2, 5, and our scale factor is 3. All right. So just bear with me on this one. Okay, so we have this. So what we're going to do, okay, the first step that you need to do is undo your center. So what's the opposite of a positive 2 and a positive 5? That means we're going to subtract 2, we're going to subtract 5. So we're going to take all of our x's and we're going to subtract 2. So 4 minus 2. So 4 minus 2 is 2. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. And 2 minus 2 is 0. So all we did was undo our x's. Now we're going to undo our y's. So take all of this column and subtract 5. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. 2 minus 5 is a negative 3. And 0 minus 5 is negative 5. So the first thing we did was undo our center. Undo your center. That was the first thing we did. Okay, so the next step, so we have our original. Our next step was undo the center. Your third step is multiply by k. So now these are our points. We are going to do the center. So k, so we're going to multiply by k. So our k was 3. So we're going to multiply by k equals 3. So multiply all these by 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. And 0 times 3 is 0. Okay, now do the same thing for all your y's. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. Okay, and now your final step. Redo your center. We're going to reattach it. So redo the center. So our original center was a positive 2, positive 5. So we're going to add 2. We're going to add 5. So we're reattaching it. So take your 6. So now this stuff disappears. This doesn't exist anymore, right? As soon as we do it, it's gone. So we're going to take this. So 6 plus 2 is 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. Negative 12 plus 2 is negative 10. 0 plus 2 is 2. All right, and do the same thing to the next column. Negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. Negative 3 plus 5 is a positive 2. Negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. Negative 15 plus 5 is negative 10. And those are your answers. Okay, now what just happened here? You're like, what is going on? Now, this is one of the things that it doesn't make sense unless you have a lot of practice with it. So these columns right here, they're going to be so awesome once you know what's going on. So this is what's happening. So what had happened was our original positive. So this is me explaining where this came from. So you're just going to do this for your notes. All right. So we have positive 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 2, 1, 2. There's your M. And 0, 4, so that's on your Y. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your A. Negative 2, 2 is your T. And positive 2, 0. Here's your H. Okay, so here was the original, right? Okay, now where was our final answer? Our final answer was positive 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your M. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Positive 2. Okay, that's your A. Negative 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just go with me, guys. And positive 2. Negative 10. There's your H. Okay, so when we look at this, and our center was at 2, 5. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put a dot there and put a little X through it. So I know that that's my center. Okay, so your center, you know how we had like from 0, 0? Our center and our M and M prime should all be on the same line. And they are. Now my center, my A, and my A prime, ooh, those are not all on the center. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Okay, but does everything else match? Yep, my T's match and my H's matches. So A was wrong. So I felt like I did everything right, but when I lined everything up, I caught a mistake. My A, something is wrong with my A. So I'm going to now look at my A and figure out what's wrong. Okay, so I'm looking back at my notes. Oh, here it is. Negative 6 plus 2. It was a negative 6 plus 2, not a positive 6 plus 2. So what is negative 6 plus 2? And that would have been negative 4. So we caught a mistake when we plotted this right there. So that was supposed to be a negative 4. So let's try that again. So negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then positive 2, 1, 2. So my A is supposed to be here. Does that line up? Yes, it does. So this one was wrong. Okay, so we caught a mistake. Isn't that nice? All right, so when we graph this, oops, forgot my H. Okay, does it look like it just got bigger? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So hopefully I'm proving to you that this right here is awesome, but when you graph it, you catch mistakes. So when you graph it, you catch mistakes because they all have to be on the same line. Now, why did we have to do and undo the center? The reason is because before you can actually multiply, we had our center need to be at our 0, 0 as quote unquote. So undoing the center led us being able to multiply by k. All right. Okay, so we have one more problem. All right. So one more problem. All right. And all right, so let's just do one more. Okay. So just following the steps as we did just a second ago. Okay. So we're going to write down our coordinates, A, B, C, and D. So we have 10, 10, 5, 8, negative 6, negative 2, and 1, negative 7. Okay, so when we have those, the first thing we want to do is undo your center. So our center was positive 3, negative 4. So our center was 3, negative 4, and we're going to do a scale factor of 1/2. So what we want to do is undo that. So what's the undo of positive 3 and negative 4? We're going to add 3. I'm sorry, we're going to subtract 3. Then we're going to do the undo button, right? So subtract 3, and we're going to add 4. All right, so take all of your x's and we subtract 3. So we get 7, 2, negative 9, and negative 2. Okay, now take all of your y's and we're going to add 4. So we get 14, 8 plus 4 is 12, negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2, and negative 7 plus 4 is a negative 3. So the first thing we did was undo our center. Undo center. The next thing we want to do is do your k. So k was equal to 1/2. So we're going to take all of our x's, divide by 2, all of our y's, divide by 2, or multiply by 1/2. Same idea. Okay, so that would be a 3.5, 1, negative 4.5, negative 1. Okay, take all of your y's. So that'd be 7, 6, 1, and negative 1.5. Okay, and your last step would redo the center. Okay, our center was a positive 3, negative 4. So reattaching it. So these do not exist anymore. Just focused on these. Okay, so we're just focused on this. So 3.5 plus 3 is a 6.5. 1 plus 3 is 4. Negative 4.5 plus 3 is negative 1.5. And negative 1 plus 3 is a 2. All right. Then we're going to take all of our y's. 7 minus 4 is 3. 6 minus 4 is 2. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. And negative 1.5 minus 4 is negative 5.5. So those are your answers. So if we plot this, so I'm just going to show you what the final thing would be. So we plot this, it would look like this. So here was the original, the big one, and here's the new one. And if you notice, our fake center was right here. And notice that my B's are all lined up, my A's are all lined up, my D's and my C's. So now you guys just finish pages 1 through 9, get a lot of practice on this, and just fake it till you make it. And I will give you guys check marks to let you know when you guys get stuff right. Other than that, just work. So all the right side of all of these were the dilate around a point that's not the origin. So just practice, practice, practice. Make those charts. And you might want to do it on a separate sheet of paper. So you do what works for you. Other than that, have a great and wonderful day.